Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. This final riff is a single note riff that is a lesson in the groove. This riff as a whole is pretty easy to get under your fingers, but it's played with a constant swing throughout. There is always a sense of groove inside a Led Zeppelin riff that is infectious. That doesn't tell us much about how to play it, but what basically they're saying is that I was never a massive Led Zeppelin fan myself. They're obviously a massive band that has some massive songs, but one of the things that I do know about Led Zeppelin is they do have that sort of a groove feeling in a lot of their songs, and what I mean by that is it's a little bit like the opposite of the strict metronome playing. So with a lot of the practice things that we do in the exercises, we aim to be completely on the beat with the metronome and hit everything absolutely perfectly, which is great and it's correct, and that's the best way to learn. If you can't play it in time, then you're not going to be able to play intentionally out of time. So practicing in time with a metronome is great, but once you've got that down, you've got a little bit more freedom to be able to perhaps play notes slightly ahead or behind of the beat, or just put a little bit of extra feel into it. It's very common in a lot of your rock and blues and western style music, certainly guitar music, to use that type of approach to give the song a little bit of a feel that's not quite as robotic and pronounced as straight metronome. So that's all it's saying. It's not really telling us anything more about playing it. The riff itself is fairly simple. I'd be playing in the first position to play this riff because I can cover all the notes without moving my hand. It starts off with a couple of so we're almost repeating the thing twice. The only difference is on the second time through, rather than playing we're playing 4 notes in the same length of time that we would have played that one note. One thing to bear in mind on the tablet shift that I'm reading from this riff is the final note of the riff, which is the G on your 6th string. It's got an indication of a little arrow up, which means we're going to bend that. I'll do another video on bending strings, but it's not telling me where to bend it to, so I'm just going to literally use my finger just to pull it down a little bit and bend it slightly. It happens quite fast on the riff, it's not quite as easy to hear it. Like, I've exaggerated it there, I don't want to be bending it that far, but just to give you the idea, I'm just pulling the note down and making the pitch of the note raise because I'm stretching the tension on the string. Just by pulling against the string with the finger that I've used to fret it. If you're struggling with that at the moment, just leave it out. Just play the 3rd fret on that string. You can add the bend into it for a little bit of flavour later if you wish to. The only other thing is, as I said, I've split the riff into sort of 2 bars. So on the first repeat, we're playing that long-lasting A note to start with, the long A. And then when we repeat, rather than playing that one long A string, open A string note, we're going to play it 4 times. So on the second time, I played it through using just down picks to do that. I'm comfortable doing it at that speed, and there's no problem with doing that. If you wish to, as an exercise, you could do alternate picking. So rather than playing the 4 notes down, 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 you could play them down, up, which is more efficient. It'll give you more speed if you needed it in the long run. Probably wouldn't need it on this riff, but you can play it either way. It really makes no difference. The important thing is just getting it to sound in time, really, with this riff. Best way to approach it is to listen to the original. They play better than anybody else can, and just see if you can just hear for yourself the feel of what they're talking about when they're saying groove. So just to end with, I'll play the thing once through using down picking for that 4-note section, and on the second time through I'll play alternate picking, and hopefully I'll be able to see that there's not really that much difference between them. I'll probably put the string bends in because it's a bit of an instinct if I just try and play what I see. Again, if you're not happy with the string bending thing at the minute, work on that later and add it in later.